Hello and welcome to the Cowboy4Game Yu-Gi-Oh podcast. I'm your host Jake. Today I'm joined by Seb from here.
Hello.
And Ben from NolanTCG.
Hello.
How was our week in Yu-Gi-Oh? Let's start with Seb.
Well, last night I stayed up to around 2 a.m. building Yu-Gi-Oh! Domain.
I kind of assumed that's why the fan was in the middle of the living room right next to a box of bulk when I came home today. I was like, huh.
I need immediate gratification from the heat. It was really disgusting last night.
Very humid.
For you the night before.
Yeah, like a couple nights ago whenever you're watching this.
Assuming you live in Australia, in which case it makes sense. If you don't live in Australia, you probably felt something very different. Anyway, and what domain deck did you build?
DPE this time, so Heroes
Hero Turbo?
What is your domain?
DPE.
Is DPE your actual person?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I can
Oh,
get it back.
DP is your... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So literally... Okay.
I guess because it just constantly comes back and
Yeah,
then you
you
can do it
can
again.
do it again. If someone has a kaiju or something, you can do it again.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Anything else?
I played a little bit of Master Duel. I don't know if it was this week, but when the timed event 2014 format.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah,
What was
last
your thoughts on this format?
It's
As
a
someone who thinks it was dog shit.
It's just old Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't think I played enough of it to.
Wasn't even good old Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, it was a format.
Realistically, the event wasn't made for us, so I don't think
No.
we were supposed to enjoy it.
It's made for the Japanese people that were like, fuck Burning Abyss. Yeah, my homies hate Dante.
I'm sure they would have liked to have played it, it just wasn't available to them. I wonder... I'd have to look at it more closely, but I wonder how long it took for them to actually get Burning Abyss.
I'm actually fairly sure Burning Abyss was nuked on their ban list before it was nuked on ours.
Oh, they got a pre-hit before
They got
actually
it, and then it got hit very quickly.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So,
Like, I think they lost Dante, like, very fast. They got Dante limited, like, 6 months in.
Yeah, sure.
And we were out here still with Beatrice running around, like, because Beatrice was an
Second
OCG
wave?
exclusive.
oh, was
Yeah,
it?
Beatrice was the OCG support.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Yes.
That is typically the way the TCG archetypes go. They are okay until they get OCG input.
Busted.
Ben, how was your week?
My week in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't remember what it was. Like tradition.
I can't even remind you because I wasn't there Tuesday.
I think I went X2. I think I played... Oh, I played Melodious.
Melodious, back
Yeah.
on Melodious.
I didn't certainly go X2. What did I go X1? I can't remember how last round went. I don't even remember last round at all. Pretty much the moment I started the tournament, my Melodious deck that I built in an hour before locals, I realized there was some missing cards. And I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be rough. But I may do. Like, the deck's still pretty cool. It does its thing. Will I play it with Ryzeal? Probably not. Will I play it with Ryzeal while I wait for all of my Ryzeal cards to arrive in the mail? Yes. I opened up a few boxes of whatever the set was called.
Crossover Breakers.
Crossover Breakers. That. I opened up a couple boxes of that. The set feels quite good to open.
Yeah,
I will
was
give
actually
Konami
surprised.
credit.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that there's only 10 Ultras and you get 4 in a box, it feels quite fun to open.
Is it a side set?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's only 4 Ultras in the set, no secrets, and you get 4 Ultras to a box. At least in Australia, because I've noticed some boxes in, like, I'm not sure if it's North America or Europe, only seems to have 3 secrets, 3 Ultras. And I'm like, okay,
Well, being
like,
that
all
ours
of our
are
boxes
just
have 4
European,
Ultras.
just shipped over to us, so I'd
Yeah.
assume that it's the US
US,
product that's
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
And it does it not say it on the box? It's just assumed that
No,
that's what-
that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never advertised what you're supposed to actually get in a box. Subject to change, because you can get 1 secret boxes, you get 3 secret boxes of main sets.
Yeah.
God,
Like my
shout outs to when I got a 4 secret box of YCS. That was fucking pog.
That was fucking insane. Like, none of the secrets were overly good,
One of the
but there was
secrets was
4
good.
secrets in the box.
Yeah.
But yeah, my first box was like 2 Ryugi, and then like a Ryzeal card and a Malice card, and I was like, oh, this first box has not been great. And then my last pack had a collector's rare in it, and I was like, oh, that makes up for the 2 Ryugis. Sure. And then the rest of it I was pretty happy with. I have enough to play Ryzeal on Tuesday. All of my different Ryzeal parcels all are apparently arriving on Wednesday, according to tracking. So probably not going
So
to
you've
be
had to
playing
get
it.
your core from different places.
Nathan was going to send me one of each card.
Oh, sure. And then
Yeah,
you
so I only got
picked
one
the
of each from
supplements
there.
up from somewhere else.
Because I was like, I'm going to buy some product and I'll figure the rest out later.
Okay.
And I pulled 3 Ice Ryzeal, no EX Ryzeal from my 3 boxes.
Yeah,
So
right.
I'm now like sick. Literally just waiting for EX Ryzeals to come in the mail. But yeah, I will mix it with Melodious and see how it goes. Because I basically am like, I am missing this many cards for Ryzeal. I will put in this many Melodious cards and figure it out.
We'll work it out later.
And that was my week.
My week. So the only physical game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I played was the domain game that we played here on Friday night. I'm not sure how the content actually turned out because we did film it.
It
But
actually came out well, apart from the life points. The life points are the only thing that you can't really make out.
okay. So,
So we'll need to
can
figure that
people
out.
expect to see that particular recording?
Yeah, like it's already done and edited and queued.
Oh, okay.
So
it will be coming.
It's not queued till like January.
Okay.
It's
So you'll
queued
see
for
it
when me and
next year.
Bragg,
On break,
when me and Bragg
yeah.
are on break, we'll have that content coming out.
Yeah,
Cool.
cool.
But
We'll
yeah.
record a couple more domain-related contents to kind of go up here or there.
Yes.
I know we're all pretty actively just building new decks for that as we play them. So like,
I don't know how many spare cards I have to build
Yeah.
multiple
Like,
decks.
it's
Also,
very-
my deck's winning at the moment. So.
I've got Cosmo built there,
Spoilers.
and I will also have. I've literally, while we were sitting around this afternoon, I came up with a Dark Warrior toolboxy deck.
I've got 3 decks, but I've run out of sleeves. Sorry, I've got 4 decks, but I've run out of sleeves, so I've got 3 decks.
I also need some sleeves.
And it's
I-
nice living in an apartment where Ben and Bragg both have a lot of cards I can grab.
Last night I was just getting messages from Seb Bosley being like,
Can
"Can
I
I take
take
these?" I was like, "Okay."
As-
Also, I never realized that Neos was a common in its original set.
Yeah.
Because Seb messaged me
really?
this morning with like, "Can I grab these cards?" And I was like, "That's a first set original print Neos. I'll find you a different Neos."
Other than that, in Master Duel, I'm still on Horus Control. Admittedly, there's a couple more floodgates in there, but it's still, I would say, Control rather than Floodgate. The Tempai matchup was an issue, chiefly because they're playing just a lot of cards out. And
There was a
established
Tempai
board.
matchup?
In Master Duel.
Oh, sorry.
There's almost exclusively Tempai matchups in Master Duel.
Well, my brain ticked back to Tuesday night when you weren't at locals and was like, "Who's the Tempai player you were playing on Tuesday night? You weren't even there to play anyone, so why am I doing this math?"
Yeah, no. So I made a couple of augmentations. Basically, I took out torrential tributes, which seemed like a good idea at the time, but they just never seemed to come up, and most of the time I was discarding them because I needed other cards, and subbed them in for... what's that trap card? I've had a
What does
complete
it
mind
do?
blank.
There can be only one.
No, that's already in there. Oh, wait, is
Figured.
it? Yes, no, that is already in there.
Compulse.
No, the trap card that does stuff engrave.
The Black Goat Laughs.
No. Oddly enough, I should put that in there, but it's not.
Dragon Maid Tiding.
No.
Any card that
What's
I've
it
referenced
fucking
is
called?
Jet
the
Dragon
Paleo
Tiding.
card, and you were using it in...
It's the one that's...
Which paleo card?
Yeah.
the defense card.
Rise to full height?
Yes.
Yes.
I put in Rise to full height, because that way, if they do blow up my board, at least I can prevent them from killing me entirely.
works.
What does it do? It's...
You banish it from grave, target a monster you control, your opponent can only attack it for the turn.
So if it goes, they can't attack you.
It's like Dupe Frog. And what's it do on the
Not,
field?
not like Dupe Frog.
Double
Double
target a
Summing's
monster,
defense.
double its defense, but at the end of the turn, the defense goes to 0. But I'm just using it for its graveyard effect.
okay.
So that if they blow up my board, I can just target the biggest thing I have and be like, you can attack it, and then once you out it, your battle phase is over.
Your turn is done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's been doing quite well. The season's only just reset, and I'm already at Diamond 2, so doing relatively okay with that. Just need to actually play some more, which I can't do because I'm here.
I tuned into Master Duel at some point this week. I don't know what I was doing. But I tuned into Master Duel. Guess what rank I am?
Rookie.
Rookie 2. Yeah.
I've been playing.
You've let it go for so long.
I haven't played a Master Duel game in maybe 6 months.
I've just been queuing randomly, just trying to play Cubics going second, and it's fine. Like, it's a going second deck in Master Duel. You might brick like every once in a while, but most of the time it's fine.
I realize both the positives and the negatives to me playing Master Duel. So I want to play True Draco in Master Duel now that I've got everything back to full power.
Why would you return to Master Duel for that? What the fuck?
You see, there's the small issue of the only reason I play Master Duel is to play decks that win on my first turn, and thus I don't have to wait for my opponent. And if I play True Draco, I'll have to wait for my opponent.
You'll have to wait a while.
I'm hard out on that.
I don't know why. What? There's so many other decks you could play that just turbo out a win con that your opponent can't out.
Fun fact, you're gonna have to get used to this. Like that whole deck is all SRs.
Really?
That is true.
So
yeah, other than the masterpiece that just came back, but we'll get into it in a second.
You're gonna have to play through a wave of that in ranked now, because it is a budget deck.
I mean, I'm at a relatively high rank, so I'm just playing Tenpai mirrors.
Yeah.
Not mirrors, I'm not playing Tenpai. But yeah, it's a lot of Tenpai in Diamond at the moment.
Yeah, right.
Soon to be a lot of Masterpiece, True Draco, that.
Yeah, I think that's all that I did with my week. Oh, no, sorry. I did open 2 boxes of Crosshair Breakers. My first... I ended up pre-ordering a core from Nikijo, Nolan 5 for your discount. And then I decided I wanted to crack some product. Bought 1 box, pulled some Malice stuff, which I sold to a guy at Locals, which then paid for a second box. And then my second box, I pulled a Ice Ryzeal QCR, which I was very happy with, as well as 4 Ultras. So my first box was pretty good. My second box was great. Very happy.
I think it's very hard to open a bad box. Like, you legitimately have to get 2 Ryugis, and then...
But even then, right, like, if you are supplemented by, like, a CR or a QCR, or even just, like, some of the more chase cards, like a White Rabbit or, I think Cross Dom? No, not Cross Dom, what's the name?
Worst case scenario, your box is 2 Ryugis, a Duo Drive, and a Malice Trap. And even then, you're looking at $55, $60 worth of
and that's only the ultras. Like, if you get the super upgrades, they might be like between sort of $2 and $5. Like,
yeah,
it's not a bad product.
Do you reckon that's just pre-sale prices, or it's...
Oh, it will come down as more product
Definitely.
gets opened. In this very early stage, though, it's still pretty good value if you can move it. Speaking of which, buy my ice.
I do want to say we've thrown out a lot of great segues here, but we weren't ready to move on to the whichever segment we could have segued into, so...
Yes. Speaking of which, we begin with Master Duel.
That's what we're starting with.
Seemingly, one of the devs of Master Duel has had a complete aneurysm and has brought out a new ban list. So this ban list came into effect the same time that the other one did. However, it was only unbanned.
Yeah, this was an unbanned list.
Yeah, so the cards that they decided to unban were Masterpiece, which we alluded to before.
Release the piece.
Red Eyes Dark Dragoon.
I almost did unlock the shock.
Ib the World Chalice Justiceer, which admittedly isn't that impactful, but it's just nice to have. Nightmare Goblin and Nightmare Mermaid.
Goblin's crazy.
Goblin is bonkers.
Yeah, Goblin's just gotten more broken the further we've gone into Yu-Gi-Oh!
And Dragonic Diagram back to 3, whereas a 1. All those other cards were banned.
Now that we've said the 6 cards that are banned, I now want to raise the point that there is a pre-produced Konami ad that they've been running during the stream, showing them, like, these cards are back. It doesn't show Goblin in the advertisement, it just shows the other 5 cards. I'm not sure if they maybe decided that Goblin was the last second... you also have this?
Do you know what I actually think it is?
What?
Is that if they advertise Goblin, people can make Goblin jokes.
Goblin D's nuts?
Yeah.
It's not searchable.
And it didn't occur to me until it was brought up in another piece of content that I saw. I was like, oh, okay, Goblin might be a bit of a problem. It's broken in Spiral.
Goblin's a huge fucking problem.
Yeah.
Oh, the Spiral got all its cards.
Spiral
Spiral
is
still has Master
almost
Planet
full.
1.
Yeah. It's pretty much a full power.
Is Verte banned?
Nope.
No.
So you can go Verte
You can very
into
much
Dragoon.
just splash in Dragoon to pretty much most things.
Yeah, right. That's crazy.
So, you can splash in Mermaid,
Yeah.
and then at the end of Orca's combo, they go to Verte
Into a dark.
to also put in fucking Dragoon. It's
Along the way, you can make a fucking goblin normal summon Armageddon Knight.
Just before they did that, was DPE still around? It's
yes.
It's all still around.
They recently
don't play it.
brought back the spell to 3.
okay, that makes sense.
Spells at 1 for a bit.
Might have to
Yeah.
play Striker.
I don't think that's the play.
Speaking
Probably-
of Sky Striker, I don't know where that transition was going.
Yeah, I was racking my brain.
Police are here to get the Sky Tracker players.
Aside from that, though, they did bring in a few other content updates.
I don't smell a fire at the bread factory.
Toast Factory.
That's after the fire.
So they did bring in a few other content updates. So we've got a new wallpaper because White Forest was also an archetype that came out around the same time as the ban list. So we get the artwork for Susurrus of the Sinful Spoils. We get Dragoon sleeves. We get a Gimmick Puppet icon because Gimmick Puppet was also added in with the new content.
What the fuck gaming comic is that?
It's one of the burn
That's
ones.
the new one.
new one.
It's the one that's limited.
We get a mate base, which is the artwork for Tale of the White Forest. And then the packs. So the Draco pack gets updated to add in the Masterpiece. And then a brand new selection pack in Invincible Aces. So this has the
Really
Dragoons,
confused
the
by
Mermaid, the
Mech
Goblin.
Knight. I got really confused by the Avramax in the advertising.
Oh, it's only because it's part of the lore.
Yeah, I just didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah, it's just lore. I'm more confused by the Mourner. That's
No,
one
but
of-
like specifically the fact
Excuse me.
that Mech Knight Avramax is
Is Dragoon-
in the advertising.
Is Dragoon part of their lore?
No. It's part of the Nightmare lore.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Nightmare, Mermaid, and Goblin are in there. Dragoon is in there. Masterpiece is also in there, even though it's already in the Draco pack.
I thought that thrust was Mirage of Nightmare. I was like, wait, what?
Crazy. I think this is one of the first packs that actually has a hand trap in the selection pack, which is a bit unique.
It's because you need it to negate your opponent's True Draco cards when they normal summon them.
Perfect. Yes. And then we get the other selection pack, which is the Chaotic Showtime. This has the new Trickstar cards, which still haven't arrived in the TCG. The Gimmick Puppet FTK.
Still haven't arrived in the TCG.
No.
Oh, yeah, they're in our...
Yeah, they're in
Okay.
the Maze pack. And then the White Forest. as
Speaking of
previously
sweet time there, aren't
mentioned.
we?
Yeah. And then we get some other kind of garbage cards.
We get
including-
the-
Yep, the simultaneous
card.
equation cannon.
Run the
so for
math.
those that want to do some maths.
Well, you don't have to do the maths now. The computer will do
Yeah,
it
it'll
for
just
you.
light up when
It'll
it's
flash up when you
activated.
do it.
I just said it, and then when
500.
it says I can do it, I can do it.
Hope for the best. Outside of that, we also have YCS Anaheim happening at the moment. So we have a bit of a breakdown for day one. Let me just pull up the figures here. So at 35%, we have Ryzeal. Next most represented is Malice at 17%.
This is in after 9 rounds.
Yep. Hang on. It's also the top 20 tables.
Oh, that's a bit random.
Top
Just
20
a
tables in 9
sample
rounds.
of top 20 tables.
Yep, dueling at the top 20 tables in round 9.
I thought the math didn't add up for that.
It may not. We're Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Because I saw the
Reading
math.
and maths is not
If you
our
go to
strength.
the full math, I think down here, like, the math didn't quite add up to this. So I was like, I think this is just all that's remaining.
But anyway, 35% Ryzeal, 17% Malice, 12% Fiendsmith Ryzeal, 5% Fiendsmith Ubel, 5% Azamina Snake Eyes Viking, 5% Pure Fiendsmith, although I doubt it's Pure Fiendsmith, 2% Melodious Ryzeal, 2% Azamina Snake Eyes Fiendsmith, 2% Sprite, 3% Ritual Beast, I don't know why we're going up a percent, 3% Bestial Malice, 3% Memento, and 3% Voiceless Voice, and 3% Tempai.
You know what all these decks are running? Mulchami for Wireless. It's time for our Mulchami for Wireless Market Watch. Currently, price has gone up from last week. Last week, there were some pretty good deals on the market. This week, Mulchami for Wireless will set you back $204 a copy.
Wait, it's gone up.
Yep. Last week it was a
180.
it was a 180 last week. This week, $204. The next one after that, $209, but then $220 after that. So get in, because
Before it
it's
goes
going
back
up.
down
Yep.
again.
I really do need to buy them.
Well, you
Now
missed
that
the boat. You've lost $40 by not buying them last week.
Yeah, no, I didn't have the money last week.
I reckon just wait till YCS when everyone wants them.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time to buy. Outside of that, though, not a lot of other news this week. We do have another card being announced for the Magistus archetype following the storybook
This
lore
one's
thingy.
shit, though.
I mean, at the moment it's shit. They could release a bit of support that actually makes it relevant, but as yet,
This is the support that's supposed to make them relevant.
it's one of. There could be more. We don't know.
The
So
invoked card
this
was
one
better.
is Endymion, the Crescent of Magistus, link to Light Spellcaster. 2 monsters, including a level 4 Spellcaster monster. If this card is link summoned, target a Magistus monster you control, equip 1 Spellcaster monster from your graveyard or banished to it. During the main phase, quick effect, target 1 Spellcaster monster in your hand, in your spell and trap zone, treat it as an equipper, return it to hand. So in theory, this can trigger the new Alistair, because I think it's just when it's added to hand, so you can re-equip it, bounce it back to hand, it triggers, summons, and then fuses.
Okay.
In theory. But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it's just a generic Link 2 that can do some stuff.
Does the new Alistair Sanus text is always treated as Alistair the Invoker?
When it's on field.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to clarify that, because I was like, it's pretty redundant if it doesn't.
Yeah. But yeah, not a lot of news outside of that. So, we move on to some questions. If you weren't aware, we do have a Discord. Link is in the description below. Feel free to jump in, say hi, and ask us questions. Our first one this week comes to us from Ryzeal. In your opinion, when was the last format you fully enjoyed?
Jake's going to say a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
I actually really enjoyed Kashtira format.
Cringe! Cringe shit! Boo!
What card do you reckon I ran in my deck?
A Ryzeal.
Spoilers, you didn't play Shifter. You side decked Shifter because everyone else playing Kashtira. I actually really enjoyed that deck. It's actually pretty fun to play in a, one-to-one trade-off scenario. Part of the reason why I'm really excited for Ryzeal, because it's going to be, hopefully, very similar to that playstyle. I really enjoy that kind of type of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you get a lot of value from just one-to-one trade-offs and just try and outgrind your opponent.
Perhaps an unpopular opinion, but I really enjoyed Tier Element format.
Skill issue. Format.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there was a great deal of gambling in it, but if you were in the mirror match specifically, there was a lot of back and forth, and it was a case of like deciding when to trigger what effects and all that kind of thing. Like, sometimes you just like weren't lucky, and that's the way things go. But it's still a very fun deck to play. I still play it these days. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed that format.
My favourite format was right after TOS format when the huge ban list came in. And then it was like Shaddoll Invoked was the best deck.
That was a
Pre-COVID format?
Yeah, but there was so many other decks that were also like viable.
Yeah.
That was probably my favourite format.
Where it's Spiral 2.
That is probably
before Spiral 2.
That is probably one of the highlights about one of those, like, those few mega ban lists that we've ever had.
Yeah.
Is that
We had a
the
fake Tier 0
format
format
after the format after is just like, it's like effectively a
Anything goes.
D20 to roll to see what's going to win.
Yeah.
This one, admittedly, probably not as much, because once you start murdering the top decks at the moment, you're just left with Ryzeal and Malice.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
now they're not going to hit like, they hit like 3 decks in the one. It
Honestly,
was a tri format and they hit all 3 decks. I feel like they're not going to do that again. They'll hit like the best deck or the top 2 decks.
The issue is that, like, the best deck at the moment, you just mix with other decks to make it work, so you got to kind of hit all of them. Yeah, not a bad format.
Yeah.
Not a bad format. I remember playing in that. There was a regional that format when I played against fucking. What were we just talking about? Spiral
Shaddoll
2.
Invoke?
No, I was playing against Spiral 2. And, like, I played a lot of Spiral, so I know the inside and out. And the guy I sat down from across was very clearly just gambling on the fact that I would not know what the deck did. And I was like, I stopped Master Plan. I win. Thank you. He was like, how did you know to stop Master Plan? I was like,
It's in the name. What do you mean?
you ever heard anyone say ban Master Plan? Yeah.
I feel like it's implied if you're going to stop any card, it's either Double Helix or Master Plan. But even then, like most of the time, you can't even get a Master Plan.
Yeah. You mean I called by the Great your Master Plan? Oh no.
Oh, Call by the Grave, that's fucked. It's not just stopping it once, that's stopping it forever.
Yeah.
Next question comes to us from 6R6. What Christmas creature... What?
Keep
What
going.
Christmas creature do you feel is the most overhyped?
Santa Claus.
Christmas
Like,
creature.
kaijus are just better.
Kaiju's not a Christmas creature.
Are we talking in context of Yu-Gi-Oh or just in general?
Well,
Because I hate the elf on the shelf.
That is true. The elf on the shelf, like, it started as like a 1 year cutesy thing
America.
to help kids, but now it's just like aggressive. The funniest videos I've seen lately is like a family pet or like some disaster will befall the elf and the kids lose their fucking minds. Like I saw this
Yeah.
one, like a labradoodle had like eaten the elf on the shelf and the kid's like, no, you're a monster!
I saw a kid beating up an elf because he ate all the chocolates from the advent calendar.
See, I appreciate that. The elves on the shelves that like
Yeah.
fuck around.
Yeah.
Because they're
But
definitely real.
it's just-
Definitely not the
I
parents.
just keep seeing it and I never got it as a kid, so I'm like, I hate it now.
Like, it is just... It highlights how fucking stupid kids are, man. Like, kids have always been pretty dumb, but I feel like kids are getting dumber.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're like,
Skibbity toilet.
they're raised by fucking iPads, and the moment they have to put a conscious thought into something in the outside world, their brain goes, well, it exists in my iPad, so therefore it must exist.
The Macca's toy said it.
Yeah.
Does it.
Kids are getting fucking dumb. Holy shit. But to answer the question, I think my least favorite Christmas creature is probably what's the living snowman called?
Snowman Eater.
Yeah.
No. The one that there's movies about.
Oh.
There's a
Frosty
snowman
the
movie.
Snowman.
Is that what
It's Jack
is that what it's
Frost.
called? Jack. No. Was it?
I don't know.
One of us is right. We've been giving you the two options.
I think mine's
Whichever
the
one that
older
is.
one.
No, 'cause-
Oh no, Jack Frost. I think that's English and what I'm saying is American. I think that's what that is.
Yep.
The one where like some kid puts a top hat on a snowman and it comes to life.
These things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
one
it's
of those
both.
things. Yeah, I hate that because that's fucking dumb. Why would you give a fucking snowman of all things sentience? It's literally gonna melt.
Yeah, it's quite sad. I guess
Well,
we're
it's
all
not sad, it's
we're all
fucking
gonna
dumb.
melt. We're all gonna melt one day, Jake.
Yeah, not in 3 months, I'd hope. Even though fucking, I don't know, someone said I was in my midlife crisis today, and I'm like, I'm fucking 34.
Jake just wants that snoozy.
Don't stop saying that fucking word.
Next question.
Next question is.
Also, I liked my Santa Claus worse than Kaiju's.
It is.
Next question is from Ryguy. Actually, next two questions, I should say. What deck do you think has caught the most stray shots from the ban list?
Good question. Great question. Good question. Great question.
I can't even think.
Six Samurai.
Yeah,
up.
it's
Shut
pretty
the
true.
fuck
I
up.
lost the Soul Day. Wasn't even.
Oh, they haven't.
Good.
They haven't.
That's the only card you've lost, though.
It's so you're just still at 3.
So you
Yes.
just still
Oh,
three.
okay, I was
Somehow.
gonna say I thought it'd be at 1.
Don't know how that's the card stayed at 3 for all those times.
Yeah, I can't even think.
Shouldn't have stayed at 3 for a long time. Oh, no.
No.
What's a deck that, like, a random stray shot made it unplayable?
My deck, I came second at the 1K tournament. It was just a Halka Frybax. 2 hand traps equals Halka Frybax, then you make a combo. So
Yeah.
they banned Hauk, and they also banned, what's the 10 cost sync that negated? Fleur de Lis.
Yeah.
Baron de Fleur, yeah.
Baron de Fleur, yeah, that.
Yeah, I feel like there's a few decks that probably copped it when Baron de Fleur lost, came off the list.
If there
or
were
went on the
nothing
list.
without Baron de Fleur, then they don't deserve it.
We're looking at you, Sword Soul.
Yeah, like, I'm almost certain that's why they had to give it 10-year support, because they're
That's
like...
why Protoss came back.
This deck didn't do anything without Baron.
They lost Baron and they're like, Protoss?
dude.
I mean, almost every other deck bar Soul has made good use of Protoss.
My strikers haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it goes in the main monster zone.
Why can't I summon boss monsters in the EMZ?
I feel like to an extent, Flu has probably copped a little bit on the ban list as well. Like, granted, it still has Shifter, but like it lost Prosp. It lost. What was the other card I was thinking of?
It lost Wind Barrier statue.
The Link
Yeah,
monster.
well, that wasn't really a stray. That
Couldn't
was
really
like,
use the Link monster.
Okay.
But we lost
Yeah.
the Link monster because they wanted to keep Wind Barrier statue, and then we lost Wind Barrier statue. I did have a conversation with the interview that day about had that Link come back.
Which one was that?
The Link 3 bird.
Yeah, it could.
Oh,
Summons a
Small.
wing beast.
A lot of stuff can come back.
That just gets you in a gate
Master
now.
Duel shows you that a lot of stuff can come back.
Yeah.
Except like the FTK
I mean,
stuff.
yeah, with the help of Maxi, a lot of things can probably be fine when you're giving your opponent 17 cards to deal with it. And last question again from Ragai. Since there's a trend of printing slightly worse versions of banned cards, what card do you think has a realistic chance of getting this treatment?
Card of safe return. Continuous spell once per turn.
Draw a card.
Make it a once per turn effect.
I would
on
be
another card.
so down for that. Imagine that in Malice.
Imagine that in fucking the deck you're
Oh, wait,
playing
no,
right
Malice
now.
doesn't- Yeah, no, Malice doesn't summon from grave off turn.
I reckon the spell cards that rip one could come back.
There.
Well,
It's
like
one.
confiscation and
Yeah,
stuff.
like
The
you got one
issue
card
is that
combos.
some of them look at your opponent's hand. I think
okay.
confiscation looks at your opponent's hand.
Yeah, right.
If there was a worse version of Delinquent Duo,
Yeah,
like maybe
one
Rip
random
Prohibition.
No, I would say, like, if you would make a worse version, I'd say pay half for starters, rip 2 cards from your opponent's hand, but then they get to draw 2 during the draw phase.
Or the end phase.
Because it just means that they don't get to, like, they have less chance of playing hand
Hand
traps,
Yeah.
but they
But
don't lose card advantage.
I think it was
Can't
just,
wait to
it
get
was-
that played in fucking Mermail and then have 0 cards in my hand.
It's alright, Ryzeal checks Mermail anyway.
Yay!
What else is banned? 6 cents. How can you make that fair? Not mil.
I don't think there's a
Roll a
way.
D1. The result is 1.
Or the cards get banished, so they don't go to grave.
Yeah.
Or cards that get milled don't activate their effects this turn.
Yeah, something like that.
There's definitely ways you could do it. Or, Fairy Tale Snow, make it once per turn.
Make it banished.
Wait,
one
did
card.
they bring that back and ban it again?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they brought it back to the starter tier format, and then once they realised their mistake, were like,
I just assumed it was still at 1.
Nope.
no.
No.
I suppose one other quick update to make is in regards to the Mega Banlist tourney that's being held in 2 weeks' time.
2.5 weeks. Two weeks when this video goes up.
Yep. So there has been a update or two since we last spoke about that.
Caleb's holding off on his. Caleb has an extra ban because he was like, Mystic Mine to 3. Sorry, limited. You can't put it to 3.
I wish.
Way ahead of you, buddy. So we do have Maxi having been unlimited, Pot of Greed unlimited, Graceful Charity unlimited, Norden to 1, Painful Choice at 1, and Last Will to 3.
You could find one painful choice. So I just put painful choice to 1.
I see.
2 of mine are in domain.
I have 2. One's in a domain deck and one's in my bulk binder.
But yeah, still plenty of time. So if you do want to make any changes to the list, whether you just want to see what befalls us, or
Or you just want to
do
make a
it-
donation to charity.
Yeah, that is true.
Links in the Discord.
Tax deductible.
Yes, if you keep
Donation.
the receipt,
Think so.
it is potentially tax deductible. Consult your tax
We,
accountant.
we are
yes,
not
we are
tax
not tax
advisors.
We are not
accountants.
giving financial advice. But yeah, if nothing else, it's just a great cause to donate to. And yeah, I think it's $5 to move a card 1 space and $10 to move it more than 1 space.
Yes.
Cards can't be moved more than once.
Bans end Tuesday night this week.
Oh.
You can
And
Oh,
then-
bans end this Tuesday.
you can
And then
unban
following
cards up to the
Tuesdays.
tournament. Up to Sunday night. Bans are Tuesday night.
Is it
I need to get
is
busy.
it following Tuesday that we're running it,
Yeah.
or is it the Sunday? Okay.
17th. If you're in town, come on down to Good Games Wollongong. We have 2 mats on offer for first and second place.
Punk.
So yes.
Many FTKs and unbreakable boards will befall you, I'm sure.
How much to enable the domain zone.
That'll come later.
That'll be next year.
What have I just kicked?
That was my foot.
Okay, we're fine.
But thank you all very much for listening and watching. If you are watching along, feel free to like and subscribe. If you are listening along, feel free to favourite, jump into our Discord, ban some cards, ask us some questions, and we'll catch you all next week. Peace.
Goodbye.